It's football season, and as I like to do pretty much every season, I picked up a new piece of Seahawks merchandise because I am a Seahawks fan. And the thing I've been able to get this year is this satin jacket that you see me wearing now. This is the Homage or Homage X-Starter Heavyweight Seahawks Satin Jacket. Now this is a collaboration between Homage, which is a company in Ohio that I think started out mostly doing merch for Ohio State, for some colleges and universities local to the Ohio area. A collaboration between them and Starter, who some of you may remember if you were around in the 80s and 90s. And I think this is fantastic. We're going to talk about this in this video. It's $165 right now on the Homage website. It's often on sale for $125, so $40 off. By the time you're watching this video, hopefully there will be some left. But I think it's an absolutely fantastic blast from the past. This collaboration between Starter and Homage, recreating not exactly the old Starter jackets from the 80s and 90s, but we're going to get into the details of how this is a little bit different. But I think it is just fantastic. I was very pleased to get this. I noticed it first over a year ago, but it had already been sold out. All of the kind of normal human sizes for the Seahawks jacket, the medium, the large, even I think the small and extra large were already sold out by October. I knew I wanted one of these. I put an alert on the Homage website, and finally this year they restocked and I was able to get it. As I mentioned, this is kind of a greatest hits compilation of the 80s and 90s Seahawks jackets from the past. I'll point out exactly how it's different from the 90s jackets that I know the best, but I don't really know if you're into another team. I don't know why you would be into another team. I don't know how closely the new Homage X-Starter jackets match those earlier team jackets from the 80s or 90s. When I was a kid in the 90s, Starter satin jackets were the thing to have. I always wanted one of these, especially a Seahawks one. And at the time, in the mid to late 90s, my dad owned a baseball card shop. And so he was able to get sports memorabilia at cost. And I was able to order through my dad, I had to pay for it myself, a Starter satin jacket. Now, for some reason, I didn't get a Seahawks one, and I can't exactly remember why. I think maybe it just wasn't available at the time. So I ended up with the Raiders jacket, and I had that for years through middle school and into high school. But I really was into the Seahawks, and I'd like to point out the differences now between this Homage X-Starter Seahawks heavyweight satin jacket and the jackets that I knew in the mid-90s. So the Starter jackets from the 90s, they also had this satin finish, and they were quilted, but they were kind of thin, and the satin finish was very shiny. The 90s Seahawks one in particular had the Seahawks logo on the sleeves, and then it had Seahawks printed pretty small on the left chest in white, and then absolutely nothing on the back. I think the modern Homage recreation looks even better. I love having the Seahawks logo on the chest here, and then the stripes on the sleeves instead of having the logo here. And then the Seahawks writing that was on the chest of the 90s version is now on the back of the modern version, but it's much bigger and it's in green, so it kind of matches the Seahawks colors a little better. I think this just looks in general more attractive. I think having that smaller Seahawks logo on the chest in the 90s version, it made it look kind of like, I don't know, a jacket that would be given away by an insurance company or something. It just didn't look quite right. This one, on the other hand, I think looks absolutely great. The design just, it looks like the jacket probably should have looked in the 80s and 90s. And in addition to having these kind of updated graphics, slightly different look to the original 80s and 90s Starter jackets, it also has this cool little patch on the inside. And these are all team specific. This one has "We Are 12" with the Seahawks logo, but every team has a different patch, sometimes with little slogans. I'm sure it's something that if you are a fan of that particular team, you will understand. I know that there's a Mariners jacket that Homage does with Starter that has a picture of the old Kingdome on the inside. So if you're an old Mariners fan, you will know what the Kingdome was. We're gonna take the jacket off. I'll show you some of the details more up close, but that is the general look of the Homage X-Starter Seahawks heavyweight satin jacket. Has a snap front, elastic at the cuffs and on the waist. You never button the very bottom. Has pockets here, just slash pockets. And then on the inside, there is one pocket here in the quilted lining, and then a pocket here that actually has a zip, which is cool. So here's a closer look at the Homage X Starter Seahawks heavyweight satin jacket. And you'll see the satiny material now is a little thicker and a little more matte than the original starter jackets from the 80s and 90s. They have the elastic ribbed cuffs and waistband. They have these blue colored snaps here that fasten quite easily. We have the stripes on the sleeves, the embroidered logo on the chest. We have the NFL patch on the left shoulder. There's the starter logo on the sleeve. If we go to the back, we have Seahawks in green lettering, again, sewn on, so this isn't printed or anything. Really nice quality. On the inside of the jacket, we have the quilted lining that you'll probably remember from back in the day, just that white polyester satin lining. There's the starter label. This one, the Homage exclusive adult medium. It is made in China. We have one inner pocket here, and then another one on this side that actually has a zip, which I think is very cool. And then I remember this very distinctly from being a kid. You would write your name on the inside of your starter jacket. And you can see shell, 100% polyester, lining, 100% polyester, filling, 100% polyester. So don't throw it in a fire. Machine wash cold with light colors, delicate cycle, use only non-chlorine. Bleach when needed, tumble dry, low, remove promptly. So it is supposedly machine washable. And then we have this patch here that says we are 12. And these are all team specific. So whatever team jacket you get, it will have its own specific patch. So for sizing, they have small, medium, large, extra large, XL. I think there's even a double XL. Yes, there is. And the small shows a chest size of 38 to 40. The medium says 40 to 42. The large, 42 to 45 inches. Extra large, 45 to 48 inches. And XXL, 48 to 52. Now, when I was considering purchasing this, I wasn't sure what size to go for. I am 6'2", and I weigh about 180 pounds. I have a 40-inch chest, so I'm pretty tall and skinny. This is a medium, and I ended up going with the medium, even though it says that it's for a chest of 40 to 42, and the small is 38 to 40. It seems like things are usually typically sized larger than I like. I usually like a more fitted look, but I decided I think I'm gonna go with the medium. I'm pretty glad I did. I would kind of like to see what the large looks like, but I think I'm gonna be satisfied with this medium. When I button it up, you can see with my 40-inch chest, it doesn't leave a ton of room, but it's not too small, I would say. It fits lengthwise with the sleeves, but if I move my arms out, obviously the sleeves are gonna move up a little bit. I'd say if you're someone who wanted to wear something larger underneath and you're of similar size to me, if you want to wear kind of a thicker hoodie or something, you might want to go with the large. But for me, I'm typically not going to be wearing this with anything heavy underneath, and I wanted a slightly more fitted look. So I'd say that the medium is pretty much what I should have gotten, and I'm pretty glad that this is what I ended up with. So I've been very happy with this jacket since I got it. I think it's even of better quality than the original starter jackets from the 80s and 90s. Those were made in the USA, and this one is made in China. So you would think maybe the quality would suffer a little bit, but everything seems really well made on this, really sturdy. It's definitely thicker and warmer than those original jackets. I thought this would be more of a kind of two-season jacket, like a fall and spring jacket. But when I button this up, right now it's, I don't know, probably 60, 62 degrees. It's too warm to have this jacket on right now. So you have to be at least maybe into the 50s in order to wear this jacket comfortably, and that's just with a t-shirt on underneath. So it's definitely much warmer than I thought. I love the updated look. I kind of wish it still had the more shiny satin finish that the original ones did, but this one looks nice as well. It's definitely a little more premium feeling, I would say. And the crazy thing is too, if you want at least with a Seahawks jacket, if you go and look on eBay at the original vintage ones, they're often around $190 for ones that aren't in great condition. And if you get one that's in perfect shape, sometimes new old stock is on eBay, they're over $300, sometimes $400. And you can get this regular price $165, often on sale for $125. I think it's just an amazing deal. I love the old Seahawks merchandise. I love the 90s logo. I love this royal blue. I love the green over the neon green that they have now. And it's just great that you can still get merch like this. Something that recreates the glory days of the past. Not really the glory days as far as how good the Seahawks did, but just when I was a kid and when my fandom was more pure, perhaps. And I could never get my Seahawks starter jacket back then. I've got it now, and I absolutely love it. I'll have a link to the Homage website in the description box below if you want to look at these NFL satin jackets. This isn't a paid ad for these jackets. I wasn't paid to make this video. I didn't get this for free. I purchased this myself. I just really like them, and I think you might too. Thanks for watching. I've been your good friend Bradley. You've been the audience. This has been Stuff and Things. I'll see you later.